这里不是巴黎的奥赛博物馆，而是上海的浦东美术馆。107件艺术瑰宝漂洋过海来到浦美，开启奥赛博物馆迄今为止在华最大规模的展览。Past to Modernity marks a milestone, the first time such a significant masterpieces from Musée d'Orsay has traveled across continents to China. And beyond its aesthetic value, Past to Modernity also stands as a powerful testament to the cultural exchange between France and China. 今天我们很荣幸的能够专访到奥赛博物馆的总裁。Hello, President.Very nice to meet you. Wow, 你好 you speak Chinese?
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
对不起，我不会说中国话。
Okay, so how do you feel the masterpieces from Musée d'Orsay come to China, to Shanghai?
We are so happy to have these masterpieces here. It has been a huge work to bring all that artwork here. It's a long journey,
Yes.
but now it's finished, and I have to thank all the people who work on that. Now all that is like a gift for Chinese audience and Shanghai people. We are so proud to have that here. We know that Shanghai is really interested in culture, in Western art.
Yes.
So for us it's a huge opportunity to bring that here and to reach a large audience.
Yeah, and we know there are 107 masterpieces from Musée d'Orsay come to MAP. So among these masterpieces, what is your favorite one?
There are many because you know there are such important iconic works. But I would like to start with Courbet, Gustave Courbet painting.
This one?
That one.
Wow.
Exactly. Because you know Courbet is quite famous in China, I'm sure, because he was one of the socialist painter. He brought new ideas in painting in the 19th century. But this one is not about socialism, it's not about politics, it's about Romanticism. It's a portrait, a self-portrait.
Self-portrait.
Very young. And you see him as a wounded man with a sword
And some blood.
Some blood
Yes,
on the shirt.
yes.
And as a duelist, you know. But indeed, when you X-ray this painting, you can see there is another people in it. Here, that was his girlfriend.
Really?
Really. And in fact, at the origins, beginning, this painting was a question of love, a question of harmony. They were together like a couple, and then they split. So he was so wounded. He overpainted the face of the lady with landscapes, and he added the sword and the blood. So it's like an image of wounded love.
Wounded love.
Wounded love. So that's why I love this painting. It's very romantic, very dramatic, and everybody has a loss like that.
Yeah,
in it, you know.
Kind of like secret code behind the painting.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
That's why
so
this is your
many stories
favorite.
behind the paintings.
I
share,
see.
Of course. And he started after that to paint in a more realistic way. And that was a revolution for this period, because you know, at this time, you painters have to follow academic rules and to paint not real scenes but ideal scenes. It was you have to reconstruct reality with your ideal. But Courbet said, "Oh, I cannot paint any angel because I never seen them. So I paint reality, I paint landscape, and this landscape, I know it because it's my country." So he introduced realism into the painting, and you can see also with the gleaners from Millet, in the same time, other painters wanted to show the reality of the farming. And poor people who are just looking for wheat, which has been just lost in the fields. So they are very humble people. But Millet was fascinated by the humble people, how they can embody also dignity of labor, and you know, it's like it's a masterpiece,
Yes.
but dedicated to poor people.
Yes.
So it's not a portrait of a queen, of,
Yes.
etc.,
Yes, of
a
rich
high
people.
society, rich
Yes.
people, just poor people,
Yes.
but with big dignity. He had many respect for that. And there is also a thing that you can see haystack on the back, and that's a motif that Monet has painted after him. And in fact, Millet inspired also the Impressionists and even Van Gogh. So it's all question of, mutual influence. Courbet, Millet, Monet, they were all looking to new paths for modernity. That's the title of the show.
Ah, path to modernity.
Exactly.
I see.
And one path to modernity is also to have female artists, women artists. Indeed, in this time, women were not authorized to be at fine art school. They could not be part. They have to train outside the fine art school. And Marie Bashkirtsev, who was a Russian painter who settled in France, and she learned in a private academy to paint.
This one.
This painting is really fantastic because it's showing, young boys in the street, and they are. It's a plot. We don't know what they are thinking, what they are preparing.
Preparing,
but it's something
discussing.
maybe nasty,
Yes.
There are some drawings on the back.
On the back.
Children's drawing, like a man hanging. Something. They are preparing a bad thing, and you can see that the little girl.
Yes.
Maybe she wanted to play with them. They say, no, go away, you are a girl.
That's why she turned her back on them.
Exactly. So it's an image to advocate for women as artists. We are very much dedicated in Musée d'Orsay to restore the presence of women in our collections. And you can see how gifted Marie Bashkirtsev was. Indeed, she died at the age of 26.
Oh.
So it's just beginners, but it's like accomplished painter.
I see.
So it's a very interesting also painting.
Yeah. And I've been to Musée d'Orsay for several times, and Musée d'Orsay is full of masterpieces. But here I can see that the space is more like bigger.
Yeah,
and
in fact, you can see, I have to say, much better.
Much better,
Yeah,
really.
Because you can isolate them. Indeed, in Musée d'Orsay, sometimes rooms are really tiny
Yes.
and crowded.
Yes.
And here we have an occasion to also to test some new rapprochement, new hangings, and some of those paintings were exhibited in several parts of the Musée d'Orsay. Because they're in the same room.
Yes.
So you can better understand the links between them. And that's for us an experience very interesting.
Yes.
Maybe that will change the way we hang the painting in Musée d'Orsay
Oh,
soon. Because
really?
it's really, really impressive to see how it works.
Yes, just like now we are in another gallery
another room.
and
And that's when we start with Degas.
Oh, start with Degas.
Yeah,
Degas
is
is
well
one of
known
my
in China.
favorite painters.
I'm sure of that,
Yes.
because that's the ballet lesson.
Yes, ballet
And with
lesson.
the master of ballet, who is seated.
Yes.
With a stick.
Yes.
Stick to order and
Yes.
to rhythm. Degas was really fond of dancing ballet, dancing lesson, and
Yes.
theater. And the thing is, you can see how hard dance lesson was, and they are today, until today, because it's not just I don't know, ideas of dance. It's
Yes.
real body.
Yes.
Walking. It's hard. It's pain, and they are working very hard, and that's why that Degas has painted, and that was he was so interested in dancer, because it's question of body,
Yes.
question of work,
Yes.
and It's might be less known in China that he painted, but it also was a sculptor.
Yes.
And he has done many sculpture representing dancers, and you have them the sculpture here in several positions. You see?
Yes.
All the sculpture were secret works, and before he died, nobody knows that.
Yes.
And after his death, they have been casted into bronze, but it was made by wax.
Yeah.
And for him, it was like a repetition, like a training to paint. So he was, when he had some difficulties in painting, he started to do it in sculpture.
Ah.
And so he could so he understood much better how the body, how the position was, and then he could go back to the canvas and paint it again. So it's a real a new way of understanding
Degas.
Degas.
Yes.
And Matisse did that after.
Exactly. Especially for Chinese audiences, we're quite familiar with Degas' ballet painting, but we're not that familiar about his sculptures. Yeah. And also he has horses. Yes.
And horses. That's something amazing. He was fond of race, and races are high fashionable societies. But also it's something very unique because very much tension in it.
Yes.
And from the Renaissance, the question of the horses, how to depict horses running. And in fact, it just at the end of the 19th century, we have understood how horses are running, and there is always one foot on the ground.
Oh.
But before that, nobody knows, but it was with photography and with Edouard Muybridge and Jules Marais, Edouard Muybridge, two photographers who were able to capture the move of a horse and to understand how horses deal with that. And so it's a question that every big artist, even Leonardo da Vinci, has done drawing inspired by horses, and they try to also to do horses sculpture, because all those kings and emperors, they were on horses.
Yes.
So it was something that an artist should do. And it's a tradition that he converted into a modern tradition because it was very fashionable to have such races at this time. So it's a new invention in a tradition.
And you choose Degas painting and sculptures here specifically for Chinese audiences.
Yes, yes, because Degas is really a key player in the Impressionist adventure. Yes. He was one of the organizers of the Impressionist exhibition. He didn't have to sell his painting because he was wealthy. So he was completely free to create because he has no constraint.
Yes.
So he could create as he wanted.
Yes.
And for that reason, he experienced a lot.
Yeah.
And he invented a lot.
Yes.
But he was a very, not an easy guy.
And he has no pressure.
No pressure
at all.
Yeah. And here you have Manet. Manet, was the leader of the Impressionist movement, and he was the one. He was a little older than the others, so he was at the age and the avant-garde of the movement, and he was also a man who brought scandal into the salon, into the official exhibitions. In this room, we have this portrait. It's a portrait by Émile Zola. Émile Zola was a famous writer. You can see the feather here, which is the tool of the writer.
Yes, the feather. Yes.
So you can understand he's a writer because there are the feather, you have some small booklets, and with the title is Manet. Manet is the painter. Zola wrote a booklet on Manet. But it's here, so it's like a signature, and also you understand his role of art critic. It's a resume. Of modern painting,
and also a mixture of different elements.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just now you mentioned that different painters they're gathered together in this exhibition, and here we can see like three like famous, yes.
Three different painters. Like you have here Bénard, you have here Gervex, and you have here Monet.
Yes.
Monet is the most famous.
Yes.
But at that time, Gervex and Bénard were very, very famous. And all the same subject, standing lady with dress. But you can see it's made in different ways. For example, she turned his face to the back. You cannot see her face. And indeed, here she's just talking to you because she's invite you.
Invite you to the garden.
To the garden. Yeah, it's something. It's inspired by a famous actress, which was also half prostitute. And it's about temptation and so on. And here is a more ordinary woman dressed for a ball. And all those paintings are same subject, but treated in different ways. And you can see it's not so far from one to the other. We used to separate them in art history to say, that's the modern way, that's the old-fashioned. But indeed, it's not really true. And here, you can compare all those works and see there are ties and there are mutual influence between all those painters who were living at the same time and they knew the same people and they wanted to exhibit in the same exhibitions and salons and fairs. And so it's a much more complete view of the 19th century to unite them on the same wall than to separate them, because you understand better what is the value of one or the other and how they influence themselves.
Exactly. And when we walking, there's another surprise waiting for us.
Now we are deep into impressionism, into landscape. And so one thing the impressionists have invented is the question of the series. So to paint the same subject in several hours a day, several times, several days. Sisley started with this scene. It's a flooding scene, and he has painted this scene 4 or 5 times.
5 times.
In same position but different lights. So just the start of the idea of the series, and then Monet did that also with the Cathedral of Rouen, and also with the haystacks. And it's interesting because through this experience of the painting, it's an experience of time. Because you see the time changing, the weather changing, the light changing, and the Impressionists wanted to catch every change, every glimpse. And that's why they painted repeatedly the same scene in different ways. And Monet did that with this haystack. You remember the haystack we have seen on the back of the cleaners?
Yes. So here's
it's really ordinary scene on the countryside at the end of summer when you do haystack to keep hay for the beef for the winter, and so it's like a pyramid. It's round like a pyramid, and Monet depicts that as a monument. It's not a monument, it's just haystacks, but it's a subject which is full of inspiration for him, because you can see how the way he painted the shadows and the light. You have here the light and here the shadows, and usually when you see
of the shadow,
you think of something black,
dark.
And here you can see how many colors he used to paint shadows. Not at all black. I think there is not a drop of black. It's violet, it's blue, it's red, it's brown, etc. So it's like an experience for him. And you go with the camera, you can go close, and it's like abstraction. There is no more subject. Just study for the light and for the shadows. And he did that several times. And you can see the the shadows moving, like in the painting, like when you have a sun clock, and you can see the shadows moving from the stick, and, indicating what hour it is. So it's really a question of time, question of light, and time and light. That's cinema. That's moving. That's new images are coming. It's not a fixed image like the beginning of an academic way. It's something moving because modernity is always moving, and he was interested in this movement.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. So, Musée d'Orsay, do you have any other future plans to collaborate with Shanghai, with China?
We are right. We are working on a new project, maybe for 2030. The subject is confidential now.
Okay.
But we are very much dedicated to organize a new exhibition in China. We know that Chinese people are really a great appetite for culture, for Western art, for French art. And we know also that you have built in your country many museums, so there are many places with high professional level of operating. So for us, it's really interesting to work here, to have to reach such a wide audience, and I hope people will love to be in front of real painting and not only images, because when you are in front of them, you understand so much better the message of the artist. It's like a direct message is sent to you. So please come and tell us your impression. It will be very useful for us to understand how you perceive those messages.
Yeah, we really look forward to that.
Thank
you enjoy
so
your time in Shanghai. We hope to see you more in the future.
I hope so. Me too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
再见。
再见。那么现在呢，我们来到了浦东美术馆的3楼。那么在这里呢，我们很荣幸的能够专访到此次展览的策展人。Hello, sir.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, could you please share with us that how did you select the 107 paintings from such a significant collection of masterpieces from Musée d'Orsay?
Actually, there are a few masterpieces from the collection, but mixed up with a painting less known than, for example, the Treatment by Gauguin, or the self-portrait of Van Gogh, of the Gleaners by Millet. And the fact that we mixed these masterpieces with other works make them look different. And I hope that the visitors will share this impression to rediscover even the paintings that they know very well.
So here, this painting, I mean, we Chinese audience are very familiar about this one.
Yeah, well, it's outstanding. It's one of the painting that Gauguin during his first stay in Tahiti, where he tried to seize the real nature of the society, the traditional society, but even the psychology of the person who live around him. Because, as you probably know, first he stayed in Papeete, the big city in Tahiti, and then he left just to discover the true nature of the island, the customs, and the people who lived there.
And here we also have some sculptures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it was important for us to have a few sculptures in the selection, to remind the public of the importance of practicing painting and sculpture as well. And for Gauguin, practicing sculpture was a way of enlarging his practice of painting. He wanted to be stimulated by sculpture, and in this case, it's also based on his knowledge of the the Tahitian tradition of carving and doing sculpture.
Yes.
He was really receptive to what he discovered in Papeete and in the rest of the island. So for us, it's also an occasion to bring together this painting and this sculpture, and for the visitors, there's probably a dialogue between them.
So what's beside Gauguin?
Yes, we're moving to the center of this marvelous section, and it's dedicated to Van Gogh. And the reason why we put Van Gogh in the middle and at the center of this section is very simple. Van Gogh was connected to Gauguin and to Toulouse-Lautrec, and we wanted to underline this paradox, because we are used to thinking that Van Gogh was less receptive to the urban society culture, but it was not the case. In the case of his room, when he decided in Arles, Arles is in the south of France, when he decided to do this, he tried to escape his own sickness, his own instability, and this painting is about finding peace in yourself, and send an invitation to Gauguin, as if he wanted to convince Gauguin that there's reason to share his life in Arles. You know, he in the La Maison Jaune, like the yellow house, he ran two rooms, and one was supposed to receive Gauguin, and at the end, with Van Gogh brother pressure, Gauguin came to Arles.
Yes.
And for Van Gogh, Arles was a very specific city.
Yes.
It was the beginning of the life he was looking for, something different from what he experienced in Paris. And he compared Arles with Japan. Because of the sun, because of the colors, and he tried to combine what he knew from Japan art. You know, he collected the prints, and what he wanted to symbolize in this painting. It looks like very simple, but it's an illusion.
Yes.
What Van Gogh expecting from us is, you know, we have to go deeper in the image just to understand what is really about.
So, what message do you want to convey to audience in Shanghai in this exhibition?
We wanted to create something very emotional, not melancholic, but something in between.
Yes.
I mean, because all these painters try also to express their, inner feelings.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
那么最后呢，我们还将邀请浦东美术馆的李馆长和我们分享更多有趣的故事，千万别走开。李馆长您好，首先想请您分享一下，因为这次和奥赛的合作其实也是比较多的，历时了比较久的时间。那您可以分享一下，在这个合作当中有没有印象比较深刻的事情，或者比较特别的吗？
浦东美术馆在筹建的时候，就开始去联系了奥赛博物馆。在2018年的时候，双方的团队就已经进行了对接，那个时候还在建设过程当中。那么直到2021年我们正式开馆之后呢，我们就开始洽谈合作。所以这次的合作几乎是从 从2021年底开始深化，一直到现在终于开始落地了。我呢就是印象比较深刻的，就我们曾经在2023年的春天的时候，专门到奥赛博物馆去进行了拜访。当时的馆长非常热情地接待了我们，他向我们展示了他们当时刚刚筹办的一个新展，是马奈与德加。一进门就有一幅马奈画的左拉的这幅画，当时馆长还亲自向我们就去介绍了这幅画，而且他还告诉我说，我准备把这幅非常著名的作品就运到浦东美术馆来，放在你们的展览当中。所以我就这次很高兴的在我们的展厅里边又看见了这一幅名作，而且呢，就除了这幅画之外，当时我们在他们那个展览当中看到的好几幅德加和马奈的作品都过来了，就好像见到了熟悉的老朋友一样，就特别的开心。那么馆长不仅是带我们去参观展览，而且还很认真的给我们详细的介绍了他们的策展方案。我记得当时我们还就其中的一些作品就做了一些交流，我们说中国的观众蛮喜欢梵高啊，喜欢莫奈，能不能增加一些比例？所以呢，他马上又给我们增加了2幅大尺寸的莫奈的画作。那么关于梵高的在阿尔勒的房间呢，这幅画我去了2次奥赛，都没有在奥赛看到，就是他2次都出差去了，所以这次反而是在浦东美术馆看到了这幅画。那我也觉得非常的高兴和感动，因为梵高可能画了3幅这个房间，但是这一幅呢，应该是他最后画的，而且是画的最好、最精细的一幅。这幅作品呢也非常的受欢迎，它的一个色彩，它传递的情感都特别的强烈。可能我觉得每一个人看到这幅画的时候，都会觉得很感动，然后也会有很多一些特别的体验和他思考的方向。我们在举办展览的时候，我们会发现，其实在浦东美术馆的小观众比例是很高的。我们现在的国内的家长也非常注重儿童的美育，从少儿开始启蒙。而且呢，我观察到，就是孩子们来到浦东美术馆，他们都会很安静、很认真，从来也不吵闹，说明这个就是少儿对艺术也是有感知的。那么这一次做了一个少儿的展签，是从少儿的视角出发。如果我是一个孩子，就是我给他看的这个展签，用的是他的语言，用的是他的视角，我相信是会更加有利于去让他理解这幅作品，包括也会引发他的一些思考。就是这些展现上，我们往往会有一个设问的一个问题，就是让孩子说，我观察到的这个画面里面这些问题又会给他一些什么启发呢？就让他去开动脑筋。我想这些都是一些我们的新的尝试，也相信他一定会有很好的效果。所以我们非常欢迎家长们带着孩子们一定要到浦东美术馆来接受这一次美的熏陶。
而且除了这次这个缔造现代这个奥赛的展，其实你们还一直有关于小朋友的绘画的一些活动啊、比赛啊，包括有和泰特合作的这样的活动，是吗？
对，我们和英国泰特美术馆是长期战略合作伙伴。我们的合作呢，不仅在举办展览，我们也在一起进行各种各样的美育活动。那么我们已经举办了2届的少儿美普会的少儿艺术家培养计划。这个呢是我们面向广大的孩子们，就是无条件的，就是免费的为他们提供一个艺术空间。通过对他们的作品的选择、指导，然后包括后续的一系列的诸多的活动，来提升他们的艺术水平。然后并且呢，最重要的是给他们创造了一个国际化的舞台。那最终在我们这边获奖的孩子们的作品，还可以送到泰特美术馆去进行一些数字化的展示。我们也在筹划，可能会未来有一些合适的作品或者是一些选手，也可以到国外去进行实地的交流。那么这些都是我们对孩子们的美育在做的一些努力。我们相信这些各个方面的我们的大家的关心，都会让我们的孩子们得到更好的成长。
好的，谢谢您。缔造现代 Path to Modernity 的展览呢，将在浦东美术馆一直持续到10月12号。那么您一定要安排出时间来现场感受来自奥赛博物馆的艺术瑰宝。So that's it for today's broadcast. See you next time.